Hi everyone and welcome back to Domenika. Today I'm going to do a picnic makeup because I'm going on a picnic and I'm going to use a lot of the new Lisa Eldridge makeup. So let's get started. I start with a red lip liner. Winging out that eyeliner. Domenika. So let's get started with skin, shall we? I'm just going to tie back my hair using a silk tie. I find that they tend to be less damaging for the hair. So I'm going to start with Lisa Eldridge Elevated Glow. And this is in Crystal Nebula, which is the lightest color, I think. And this is gorgeous. I have used this a bit. I wish it was in a bigger size in a way because it says on the back that it's 30 mils, 0.43 fluid ounces, which isn't a lot. But look at that. It has this very big kind of doe foot applicator, which is quite chunky. And I use this sometimes at the start and the end of my makeup. So just adding a bit to my cheekbones and just blend it in. And this gives such a beautiful glow to the skin. This has actually become my favorite Lisa Eldridge product, which is a bit hard for me to say because the lipsticks, she has some of my absolutely favorite lipstick of all time, both from the kind of more natural side and also the more matte one. I'm applying it a bit, just a teeny bit of this goes a long way. It's very glowing. Going onto my lip. And I'm also going to apply this a bit onto the eyelid. Oops, a bit much on that eye. Just pat it out, giving me a lovely sheen on the eyelids. And this is kind of a great all-over product. It's kind of like one step for everything, really. You can kind of just put mascara, a bit of blusher and lipstick and you're done. The skin is super glowing. So that's the first step. And Lisa says that this sets down a bit. So I'm going to wait for it to set down. And do a bit of eyebrow. I'm using the Legendary Brow by Tilbury. And this has quite a long handle and a teeny tiny brush. This is my favorite brow gel. I use this a lot. Brows done. Fringe nothing looking that good. That's better, I think. So now that it's set a bit more down, I'm going to use foundation on top and blend it kind of into it. So I'm going to use the Dior Face and Body and mixing it in with Tilbury Airbrush for this finished foundation. This one I'm shaking a bit. It's not really though the foundation that you think is going to match well, but I'm not sure if they are both silicone, water based or whatever, but I think this works quite well. You don't need a lot of the Tilbury one because it's very pigmented. As you can see, I've put a bit on both. There's the Tilbury and there's the Dior, and the Charlotte is a bit lighter and more yellow, and the Dior is more pinkish in the colors I have. So when I mix them together, they become more like my skin tone, and I get a bit more coverage. And I love to mix things. So applying a bit on, just applying it underneath my cheekbones here, because that's where I tend to get a bit of redness. Just kind of stipple it on. I feel like you don't really need that much foundation when you're wearing this elevated glow underneath. Just passing it over the skin. Doesn't take away a bit of the glow perhaps, but not much. I feel like you want a bit more of a natural makeup when you're going on a picnic. Whether or not you're going with friends or with a significant other, or personally I absolutely love picnics. This makeup is also going to make you look a bit more awake. Applying a teeny bit down the neck. You know what, I think I'm going to correct before I put it underneath the eyes. So I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown Corrector, and this is in Porcelain Bisque. I used to have extra light Porcelain Bisque, but this actually works for me. Just patting that underneath the eyes. Just patting that underneath the eyes where I have a bit of darkness, so trying to go more into the inner corner. This is such a great product if you want to look more awake or take down any dark circles. This has a bit of a pinkish tone, which is great for correcting darkness. So that's the under eyes done. So I think I'm going to go a bit back into this highlighter and adding a bit into the inner corner of my eyes. And for this I'm going to use my pinky finger, both eyes, and just go in. Just apply it into there. And I think this is a great kind of a little trick when you want to look more awake, is to add a bit of highlighter or a shimmering shadow or whatever you have that's light reflecting to kind of brighten the eyes a bit. You're adding it into the inner corner. Old Hollywood starlets used to use this tip to hold it over the time. When you look at pictures of Marilyn Monroe, you can see that she has a bit light reflecting at the inner corner. So while that's done, I think I need a bit more color into my skin. So I'm going to use another product from the Seamless Skin by Lisa Eldridge, and this is the Enlivening blush. White packaging is hard to make focus so you can read it. And this is in the color Island Glow. As you can see the color here at the end of the tube. You squeeze it out. You don't need much at all. This product a little go a long way. Here you can see, squeezed out a little bit. And I absolutely love this cream blush. It looks kind of a bit intimidating on the hand, but when you blend it out, try a bit to my fingers. And I like to apply this like Lisa Eldridge showed in her video, when she showed that she took it from kind of where the pupil was and a bit behind and started there. So like so. And always have kind of clean finger to blend with, or clean brush if you're using blush. And you can kind of go back and forth with adding more color and blending it. And this is such a great color. It's actually kind of the blush I have that is most similar to my natural color that I get in when I'm sunburned or if I run or pinch my cheeks. Would be a bit unpractical to have to pinch your cheek every time you want to blush. And this is more kind of a corally peachy color. She has lots of colors and a lot of kind of more darker colors that might be a bit more scary, but I feel like they are quite adaptive to your skin. So you can kind of use a bit less or a bit more depending on the look and also what suits you best. This is the only color that I have because I wanted to try kind of one product from each of the semi-skin, like one of the highlighters or complexion boosters or what you can call them. I'm also going to use this on my eyes. So I'm just going to go here, a bit on top of where I put the elevated glow on my eyelids. Just adding a bit of a healthy flush because I feel like when you naturally blush, you tend to get a bit onto your eyelids also. So this is going to make this look very natural and beautiful. So this is going to be a bit of a natural flushed look. Love the look of that. And a bit more onto my cheeks also. Trying to keep this quite high up on the cheeks. This is so easy to use and you can kind of build up quite slowly. I like to build up slowly. Blending it a bit up onto my temples also, so the entire kind of blusher goes kind of into its shadow. And I'm going to also use a bit of this onto my lips. It's truly a multitasking product. I would say that it's a bit more dry than a lipstick, so I would perhaps apply a gloss or some lip balm on top if you were to use it as a lipstick. I sometimes like to use it underneath the lipstick. I feel like it kind of makes the lipstick last a bit longer. And then I have this stain underneath, which means that it won't come off in the same way, which is great when you're eating, which you might on a picnic. So that's how it looks on the lips also. So then I'm going to go on to mascara to kind of frame this easy look. Curling the lashes. And I'm using my Monsieur Big, which you probably have seen me use before because I use this a lot. It's great mascara. And Lisa Eldridge also works for Lancôme, which this is from. So I don't know if this was made before or after she became creative director. So that's the mascara on. Going for quite fluttery lashes today. So for lips, I'm not really sure what to choose. I have a lot of Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. These are all of my Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. And I have a lot of her glosses also. And I have also a lip liner. So here you can see all the lipsticks I have from Lisa Eldridge with the cap off. As you can see, on the back row we have all the true velvet, the ones that looks like velvet on the outside. And in the front we have the luxuriously Lucent lip colors and also one insanely saturated lip color, I think it's called. That one wasn't restocked when she did a restock recently, but she also restocked a lot of her velvets. And in front here is all new from the new collection for the summer, except for these two, which is Go Lightly and Rainbow Spill, which was from last year's, perhaps. A bit older, I think, summer collection. Actually, every lipstick that she has works for picnic. So the lipstick I'm going to use for this look is Atomic Cherry. This is great. Look at this color. Wow. I know someone that would absolutely love this color. And this is actually my friend whose name is Cherry. And this is called Atomic Cherry. But this is kind of a color that I feel like she looks so good in. And I think she loves. So I'm just going to apply this straight from the bullet. It's kind of great summery color. I feel like it goes so great with my hair color. See. I feel like with this lip color, I perhaps need a teeniest bit more blusher. I feel like I need a bit more definition on my eyes. So I'm going to go into the M.A.C Cruella palette. Just add a bit more definition into this crease because I feel more confident then. And I'm going to use the color, which I can't remember which one that is, but it's the kind of nude beige shade there. It's very natural, but it's going to give me a teeny bit more definition into my socket line, which I love to have. It's a bit pinkish, so you won't really be able to tell that I have put on eyeshadow there, except for the blusher. And I'm going to add this a bit with a smudge brush. And these brushes are by Tilbury. Underneath. But you can definitely skip this. I just think it adds something more to your eyes. So to finish off, I like to add a bit more glow. I mean, like, you can't ever have too much glow, I feel like. So I'm going to dot a bit on top. Lisa also did this when she went in after the makeup was done and added a bit more of the glow, which I'm going to do now. Just patting it. This is going to give me even more glow. But you can also leave it underneath to give more of a natural feel. Personally, I love to glow. Perhaps because it's so cold here in Norway, so our skin tends to look a bit dull. Adding a bit into the inner corner and onto the eyelids. Kind of elevate the glow. So now I feel elevated from the glow and enlivened by the blush. Oh, her names is so cool. And also Crystal Nebula is such a cool name. And Iceland Glow, I really think that this do give kind of glow that you get when you're in Iceland. I don't really get that much color glow, but I can at least shine. As a finishing touch, I'm just going to powder a bit underneath my eyes so they don't move around throughout the day. Using a Pat McGrath blender brush. Just going to pat. And I don't want this to take away from the glow, so I'm just going to go right in here. Just underneath the eye, not taking it over the glow. Not into the inner corner, but more kind of on top and underneath the glow, into the inner corner there. And today, since I'm going on a picnic, I'm wearing this gorgeous dress my father bought last year as a gift. This is from H&M. And it is calf length, so it stops around my calf, and it has an A-line, which I think is ideal for picnic, because you don't want anything that's so short that when you sit down on the blanket, you show off your underwear, which I don't think is very fun. So dress that stops around your calf is ideal, and also something that flares a bit out because it's easier to sit down in than something is that's very close and tight-fitting. Pencil skirts are good for many things, but not to picnic in. So I'm just going to switch up the hair. Oh, I love this look. I feel like this is also a great look for a date. I've been told that you shouldn't wear too much of a lipstick on your date, but I feel like this is okay. And I love a bit of red. Red is also a very kind of passionate color and a very attractive color, so I feel like wearing a bit of red and blushed look is going to make you look great. So I think I'm going to take a few steps back so you can see the outfit. And picture it with a biscuit basket. and picture it with a picnic basket. I don't have one actually. There you have my picnic look. I feel like if you were to wear a dress like this on a date, perhaps, because it has button all the way down, you can kind of unfasten the button there and it kind of becomes more sexy. So if you're going on a picnic and recreate this look, please do. And have fun. What else can I say? Makeup is about fun and it's about making you feel better. I definitely haven't felt my best lately, especially since I failed my final exam. But now, when I can put on a bit of makeup, it kind of lifts my spirit a bit and it enlivens me and elevates me, as Lisa Eldridge products. And I feel like it's a great tool to have up your sleeve. You shouldn't feel embarrassed about needing makeup or wanting to do makeup. No matter who you are, I feel like makeup is such a cool thing, and it can be used as a bit of therapy and a bit of self-love and self-care. So, without any more babbling from me, I'm going to say goodbye now. And as we say in Norway, ha det bra. I start with a red lip liner. I start with a red lip liner, winging out that eyeliner.